Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know what I'm doing here. I am a love coach specifically for women who want to stay and heal and reconcile after infidelity. I know, craziness, right? But it's not so crazy if you're going through it. If you're the one going through it, if you're the woman in that situation, and this is just not somebody you want to lead. This is a relationship that you want to continue on, you want to trust again, you want to believe in your love and in your fairy tale. I'm here for you, okay? I believe you. I think that you're right. I believe you fully when you say that this is the right person for you, this is the person that you want to be with, this is the one who is worth the effort of forgiving. I completely believe you. I am here to serve you. I am here to help you along that healing path. All right. And speaking of the healing path, I just set up this thing that gives you my healing path, my dreams formula automatically. So if you're with me or you're following me on Instagram, go to Instagram and on any video, hit path, comment path or healing path, and it should give you my how to heal after infidelity my map for your healing path. All right, it will give that right to you, so try that out for me. Let me know how it works. Okay. All right, so setting up new things, working with new technologies, doing all the things that I can possibly do to get you this information. I want you to have this information so you stop hurting, and I want you to stop hurting faster. You should not have to be in pain for any longer than you already have been. We can start getting out of pain right this second. And I want you to do that first. Get my guide on the dreams formula, exactly how you do this, and you can get well on the path for healing way faster than you can on your own. Okay. All right, let me make sure that I can see everything here. Everybody that's with me on Facebook, that's on with me here live on Instagram, make sure you give me some likes, give me some loves. Let the algorithm know that you like me, that I am somebody who is interesting to you. Make sure you're commenting. And if you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know you got here late, okay? All right. So, what we normally do is in the beginning, we talk about some things that you can do on your own to start to heal this pain, start to heal this trauma all by yourself. I know your brain tells you that he should be the one to fix it. Why am I going to be fixing it by myself? He's the one that messed it up. He's the one that should be able to fix it. I get that. That makes sense. However, your brain is the one that's messed up right now. You're the one that's having the difficulty. So I want you to and when you're all on your own, when you are crying in your coffee in the morning, or when you are in bed at night and it's all alone, the things that you can do to start to calm yourself, to soothe yourself, to regulate your emotions. That's the stuff that you need to get past this trauma. That's what you're going to need. So we got to start with us. We cannot start with the other person. It is not going to be successful. You're not going to get the healing that you deserve if you're looking towards the other person. You need to be looking towards what you can do right this minute, and that's going to help you tremendously going forward along the path. All right. So the first thing always that I'm always going to tell you to do no matter what is going on. Hey, Michelle, I see you over on Facebook. Marie, see you too. Hi, girl. Glad y'all are here. And I'm glad you're here so you can do your deep breathing with me. That's the first thing, is doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing as you are going through this trauma? Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been trying to do that on a regular basis? I need you to be doing this five times a day, okay? Periodically through the day. Stop whatever you're doing. Do your deep breathing. Bring that anxiety level down, okay? We cannot keep working with it way jacked up in the sky. We can't work like that. Our anxiety level is high. Fight or flight is kicking in. We can't work like that. It's much easier if we can bring some of that anxiety down, and your breathing changing will bring anxiety down. Your body, when you are freaking out, tells you that you are in so much danger, and then that makes your breath come quickly and more shallow. We need to do deeper, fuller breaths to give the opposite message that we are not in any danger. Nay, nay, we are not in any danger right now. We are fine. All right. Marie, hey girl, it's been a while. I hope that means that everything is good. Usually when I don't hear from people, no news is good news. So hopefully things have been going well for you. I hope things have been wonderful. If they're not, girl, message me. You know we'll talk about it. But we're going to do our deep breathing. So since you're here, come on, do your deep breathing with me. Oh, hey, Jade, HG75 over there on Instagram. I see you, girl. Hi. All right, we're going to do our deep breathing together. What we're going to do is 4-7-8 breathing. What we do is blow out like we're blowing out birthday candles. Make the noise of blowing. Fill those cheeks out. You're going to blow out as much as you possibly can. Empty out your lungs. We have been sipping the air when we are anxious. And so when we do that, we build up a lot of carbon dioxide. We sip a little air in, but then we don't fully blow it back out. So we keep on increasing our carbon dioxide levels. Very first thing is to blow out all that carbon dioxide, deflate your lungs. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4. If you can do it through your nose, excellent. If not, allergies, whatever, go ahead and breathe through your mouth. It's okay, as long as you are doing the breathing. Then you're going to inhale for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out a whole cake full of birthday candles again for a count of 8. All right. And I will count for you. I got you. All right. So we're going to do this 3 times for the sake of time. Okay. First things first, we're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. For those who joined me while we were breathing, hello, welcome, welcome. Did you get in a couple deep breaths while we were working on that? Hopefully you did. I want you to be able to do these deep breaths on a regular basis. It's going to calm you. It's going to get you in control over your emotions. Try it one day when you're kind of starting to freak out. If you're a little triggered about something, you go sit and you do your breathing. And if it starts to well up in you again, sit back down, do your breathing again. See if you can get control over your emotions without going to him, without talking it out, just by you getting control over your breath. I promise you, as you practice it, it will get easier and easier. You can do it. Okay? Fabulous, fabulous. All right. Next thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together that you can do all on your own to start to feel better, to start to heal this trauma, is to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? If you've not been doing your journaling, you are doing yourself a disservice. It is important, okay? You will have all sorts of wonderful, delicious clues in your journal if you actually start writing in one, all right? When we are going through trauma, our memories suck. We need to be writing down things good and bad so that we can actually remember them. When we are doing our journaling, it is soothing. It calms you. It calms your brain. It helps you work through things. So if you start off with your journaling, you do the date, time, level of anxiety, date and time, so you have data points to go back to, and then level of anxiety when you start and level of anxiety when you finish. You will notice a difference between the two. All right. Just 5 minutes. I'm not asking you to write an entire book. That is not necessary. Write until you feel like you've said something important. Write until something pops into your head and you're like, oh, yes, I should write that down. Just give yourself some time with your journal. You need that self care time. You need time to pay attention to your own feelings, to talk things out with your own brain. I suggest doing this first thing in the morning when you're waking up. If you need to get clear on the day, that's a great way to do it. If you are doing this right before bed, as well, that's going to help get thoughts out of your head so you can lay the hell down and go to sleep. I know it's hard when you're traumatized, it's so hard to sleep. If you lay down these burdens in your book, in your journal, and say, look, this is the super important book, brain. I am writing this stuff down. I need sleep. You can work on it while I'm asleep. Unconsciousness, feel free to work on this problem, but I can't do anything about it right this minute. I need to rest. Set your brain to the task, put it in your journal, and then first thing in the morning, come back to that journal entry and write whatever first comes to mind. Your brain will have solved a lot of it while you were sleeping, and it will let you sleep. Okay. Lots of different, really good reasons to journal. Trust and believe me, try it. If you haven't been doing it, you haven't done it in a long time, try it again. It does work. It is extra helpful in getting those thoughts together. Lori, hey girl, glad to see you. Marie said journaling has been very helpful for me during this. It really is, Marie. It is good to get that stuff down. You got to get it down. Oh, got both Maries here. You got to write it down. You got to get that stuff out of your head. The thoughts that keep repeating themselves over and over again, write those down. You can tell your brain, hey, I got out the special fuzzy journal and I'm breaking open a page, and whatever negative thought that is, I'm writing that thought down. All right. I heard you, brain. I heard you. I heard what you had to say. You can say, oh, well, he never loved you. Okay. All right. I'll write that down in the journal as long as you stop repeating that to me. Yes, I feel like he never loved me. Okay. We're going to put it down in the journal. We're going to put that down and we're going to let that thought go. You can train your brain using your journal. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. There's a lot of different ways that you can use it. Please do your journaling, okay? I'm trying to tell you, good stuff. It's good stuff. It helps tremendously. All right. Y'all make sure if you got questions and stuff, you know I'm here to answer them. All right. Third thing that we always talk about that I'm going to always remind you of every time we get together is to develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I need you to work on being thankful for things, even bad things. All right. Get into the habit of everything that happens to you during the day, everything you think about, everything that good or bad. Try to find some positive in it, something that you can be grateful happened because of it. If you're constantly searching for that, you are actively fighting against the traumatized part of your brain that is always looking for a negative thing. Your traumatized brain is always going to be looking for bad. What's the bad thing? What is the bad thing that could happen? If you are constantly tuning your brain to look for things to be grateful for, to change the attitude from something that you dread to something that you are happy about, your brain will stop looking so hard for those negative things. Number one. And number two, as you start to change your attitude, your perspective with that gratefulness, that heals your brain. Your brain is stuck on all the negative, right? If you continuously feed it positive, you're mending that wound in your brain. You are giving it something to hang on to be able to mend itself together. Okay. So being grateful every day for something. There's got to be a reason. And I want to hear them. Okay. I want to hear your reasons. Give it to me. Put it in the comments. What is something that you are grateful for today? What is something that you're grateful for? What is something that you're like, dang, I'm really grateful for that today? And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. Like today, my other curling iron broke today, and I happen to have another one in the stash. And I was like, I am very grateful that I didn't throw that away. I needed that. Small things, it doesn't matter what they are because it changes your brain's rut that it's stuck in. When you're traumatized, it's stuck in this rut of everything is bad, everything is awful, nothing is ever going to be okay again. But if you find gratitude in your heart, you know that you are right to be grateful for that thing. All right. I could have been, my hair could have been looking a mess, could have been terrible looking. I am grateful for finding another curling iron. So now, all right, instead of, oh, I'm so mad that my curling iron broke, it is, I'm so happy that everything worked out just fine the way it was supposed to work out. You can change what your brain is focused on. And being grateful is one of the simplest, fastest ways to do it. So if you've got stuff that you are grateful for this week, go ahead and put it in the comments because I want to hear it and I want to share it. Because when I share it, that expands the light. What that light lit you up, yeah, but then you can light somebody else's way too a little bit. All right. All right. Put those in the comments if you got them. Then the last thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together is to stop asking all those damn questions. Okay. I know you want to ask them. I know in your heart it's clenching to ask the questions, right? Your brain is itching. It has a million of them. It has so many of them, and they're all such good questions you think in the moment that you need to have answered in order to have any healing whatsoever. And I'm here to tell you that that idea is a trauma response. It is not real. Okay. It is not real. As a matter of fact, the more answers you get, the more you're going to traumatize yourself, the harder it's going to be for you to heal. Your brain is lying to you. Your brain is telling you, oh no, if you get all of the answers, then I'll feel better. Then we'll be able to move forward. It will stall you until the ends of the earth. Okay. It will continue to try and stall you out from moving forward, from healing, because that's not its job. Your brain's job is to try and protect you if you've been traumatized. And so what it does is try to make you isolate. It doesn't want you to heal and be together anymore. It doesn't want you to have your Prince Charming. It doesn't want you to be the happy ending of your story. It doesn't want that. It wants you to be alone. It wants you to be sitting in a hole somewhere, covering yourself up, being real quiet, trying not to get hurt. And that's just not any kind of life for a queen, okay? I'm going to tell you, I don't care who you are right now. I believe you to be the main character of this story. I know that you're the queen. So in a hole, hiding is not where you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be out here living this adventure. And I want you to be able to feel comfortable doing that. And you have to master your brain in order to do that. Okay? So we've got to stop ourselves from asking those questions and wounding ourselves further and making ourselves want to back off more. Have you gotten an answer to any of your questions that made you feel better? Was there an answer that you were like, oh, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to hear? And that makes me feel so much better. I have so much more insight now. Is there any question that you have asked that has done that? I don't think so. I doubt it very highly. Trust you me, I have been doing this for some years. It is never like that. Okay. The questions that you ask end up causing you more pain. They are for your brain to have more ammunition against him, not for you to heal. All right. So if your brain is telling you, oh no, we have to have these answers in order to heal, it's lying. Okay. It is lying to you flat out. And it is not going to help you or help you heal in order to ask all of these questions. Okay. Marie said today is 1 year from D-Day, and although it's been hard, I'm grateful that we are working towards a better marriage than we had a year ago. Grateful. See, isn't that a beautiful thing to be grateful for? We are working. We are doing exactly what our vows said we were gonna do. We knew. The vows came in and they said, look, stuff is gonna get hard sometimes. It's gonna be rough, but these rings, these commitments are saying that no matter how rough it is, you're gonna come through it as a unit. You're gonna work on the thing together. You're going to compromise. You're going to love each other harder. You're going to forgive. And you're going to get to a different place than other people who didn't make that same commitment. That is exactly what it's supposed to be. That's what marriage is you working on the things together, moving forward, learning, growing. And yes, bad things can happen, but we can still be grateful for them as catalysts for growth. This is a terrible thing to have happen. But for me, it was a terrible thing that cleared it real easily for me that he was the one and I wasn't letting him go. This thing happening, him cheating, finding out about that, our whole world being blown apart by that, let me know very clearly who I believed he was to me. And I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong. So I don't believe that you're wrong at all. You are working towards what you were supposed to be doing. All right. So if you get to the point where your brain is itching and it wants to ask a question, all right, choose one of these. Okay. This is The And, THEAND, The And by the people at theskindeep.com. And what you can do is go on Amazon and put in The and you will find these cards. It is a whole variety of decks, but that one in particular is for healing. It's the healing edition deck. So these questions are specifically designed to heal and reconnect a relationship, not to talk more about the affair, not to talk more about the pain specifically, but to reconnect the two of you. So let me give you a couple of these. All right. Let's see. When was the last time you healed through me? That's an excellent question, isn't it? That's a good one. Think about that one. Think about it from your perspective. When was the last time you healed through him? Isn't that an interesting question? I want to know the answer to that one. If you get an answer for that one, let me know what that is. All right. Let's see. If you could give me only one piece of advice, what would it be and why? Wouldn't you like to know that? What advice would he just out of the depth of his heart want to give to you? That's an excellent question to ask. That is something that can connect you. Whatever that is something that is deeply on his mind when it comes to you. So you can find out a lot of information from a good question like this. If you could give me only one piece of advice, what would it be and why? Shoot, what's the one piece of advice you give him? If you could only give him one, all right. I know you got a lot to give him. I know you feel like you could fix his whole life if he would just listen, do everything you tell him. I get it. I know because we always know better. But I'm just saying, if you had to pick one bit of advice, one thing that's all you can tell him, what would it be? All right. I'm curious about that. That's a good one. Oh Lord, like the television's so loud in my room, I can hear the music. I was like, what is that? Is that coming from my computer? All right. And I give you one more question. What do you think there is for others to learn from our relationship? See, I got an answer for that one. You all get to learn from our relationship how to carry on, how to love again after infidelity. I am proud that you get to learn that from me, from our relationship. Our relationship is something else. It has been all sorts of adventure, all sorts of lessons, all sorts of connections. It has been such an interesting ride, and it's cool to me that others get to learn at least this from me. That's cool for me. Even though it sucked when it happened, it sucked when it did go down. It hurt, but it's not. it's not painful anymore to think of it anymore. It's just I appreciate the fact that such a vastly life-changing thing could happen to me and I could survive it and I get to tell other people about it. If that makes sense. All right. All right. So that's the basics, the stuff that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together. I want you to know, I want you to be practicing. Do your deep breathing, do your journaling, practice gratitude, and do not ask all those questions. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints about any of that? Let me know. All righty. Don't see any questions over there. All right, so it's question time. Let's see what questions we got. I got Michelle. Michelle, you were here with me right from the get-go. Michelle asked me, could you discuss how not to blame ourselves? Help me to know that I am enough and staying is not a sign of weakness. My husband is very remorseful and we are both in counseling. He says it's not me. He just got lost. Thank you. Well, honey, he is absolutely right. He got a little lost. All right. We'll start with that. That is part of the dreams formula is evaluating why this happened. If you can evaluate why this happened, more than likely you are going to find some pain there. Most people are not going to do anything this terribly stupid, this destructive, if they're feeling great. If their life is going well and they're not having any issues whatsoever, they're not going to do things like this. They're not going to go cheat if they're feeling good about themselves. So that's the first thing, is trying to grasp onto some compassion about whatever it was that made him do this. I know that your trauma will try and tell you that it was all your fault. It was all you, that you're the problem. But hurt people hurt people. Somehow he was hurting to be able to hurt you this way. So I usually do break it down 3 categories: sick, sad, stupid. Sick is an illness of some kind. Could be mental, could be physical. We could be dealing with depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. All sorts of things can be physically wrong with you, including heart problems. People would come into the hospital all the time with heart problems and always have a damn mistress. It was like they knew that their heart was not functioning properly and they were clinging onto sex as a symbol for life. It's the weirdest thing, but a lot of people cheat when they are sick. We're not at our best. We're not performing at our best. We do the wrong thing. All right. Sad is another one. Sad is a feeling of loss or grief. They've lost somebody, they've lost something. Maybe them. It may be their inner issues. It may be feeling like they are not the person that they were supposed to be by now. They are not living up to the expectations that they have for themselves. Could be that they're feeling some kind of way about your relationship together, feeling like maybe I've lost you. Maybe we're not going to be able to make it. I've had bad relationships in the past and they didn't last, so maybe this won't last. All sorts of things surrounding a loss. And it could be as basic as a real life loss of a family member, real death in the family. It can also be that, but it can also be a little bit more metaphysical in the loss too. So you got to like take into account, has he lost his job? Did he lose something medically, get sick and end up losing something because of the illness? That's 2 things. That's both of those categories. You can look at them and tell when they've had a huge loss, and including like when you're losing your parents. If you've been married for a good long while and you get to that point together, that is a big change. That's a big thing that happens in relationships, and people end up cheating after that. People who've lost children, all sorts of things. And then there is stupid. Stupid is not him being stupid. Stupid is all the stupid things we've been told about being in relationships together. Men are told from a very young age that they're supposed to have all the girlfriends, and oh, you got one, well, why don't you have 2? And oh, you got this one, why not date her sister? They're told this ridiculous idea that pretty much their worth is either wrapped up in how much money they have or how many women they have. And most men are better able at getting women than they are at getting money. It's a little bit easier to get women. We are in abundance all around all the time. So it's a little bit easier for them to run a little game, get women. It could be dad cheated on mom, could be mom cheated on dad, could be all sorts of things. Uncles and cousins and older male role models who all cheated. So that's all they ever saw. All sorts of stupid things can happen to us in our formative years that will make us feel like, oh yeah, it's a good idea to go ahead and cheat. But we all know that most of that stuff is a painful memory. Something bad happened to make us feel like that was okay. All right. So giving yourself that compassion, all right, getting yourself to that point of understanding what was going on with him. You get it. You understand that there was some pain there that made him cause you pain. Having that compassion makes you feel strong. You are not weak for staying. You are not weak for loving who you want to love. You are not weak for want to work out your relationship. You are not weak for any of that. You are choosing something that is objectively hard, that a lot of people wouldn't even bother to try to choose because it's so hard. You are making a choice for your own life based on your own feelings. That is all that is ever expected of any of us. That is what we are supposed to be doing here on this planet, living the life that is before us, choosing, doing the things that we want to do. If this is still your person, if this is the person that you love, if this is the person that makes your heart willing to forgive, you love them that much that they inspire you to forgiveness when you have absolutely no reason to. You don't have any reason to forgive them. You don't have any reason in the world to forgive them, but you are choosing to because that love is so strong, because they are worth that much effort to you. You have found something incredible. And I feel like you should fight tooth and nail to keep it. You should be doing everything within your power to hold on to a love that strong, that true. That's not a weak thing to do. That is not a weak thing. That is doing exactly what you should do on this planet. All right. That makes sense to you. Does that make sense? Because I don't want you all feeling like you're weak. I don't want you to feel like that at all. You are choosing something that is objectively difficult to do, and you are doing it. Yeah, Marie, you've been here for a minute now. You've been going through it. You are actively doing it. You are not getting like left behind. You are actively working on creating the life you want. That is what you're supposed to be doing. That is a strong thing to do. It's a brilliant, wonderful, open, loving, gorgeous thing to do. And I'm proud of you for it. I want you to pat yourselves on the back for doing something this difficult just because it is your choice. That's why I want a lot of your healing to come from things that you do. Don't make this about the other person. This is about you. This is about how you feel. You want to heal. You want to be with this person. You want to work things out. It's about you. Don't let it be about them. It is something special that you have found. And if you find the value in it, you should have it. That's just how I feel about it. If you see the value in this person, you should have this person in your life. That's just the way that I feel about it. I don't feel like you're weak. I really don't. I don't believe that at all. I think you're doing a very difficult thing and you deserve some support for doing such a difficult thing under such difficult circumstances, out of love. I feel like you deserve all the help that you can get. Okay? That makes sense? And then blaming yourself. Oh, yeah. That comes back to knowing the why. That comes back around to that. Knowing the why of why this happened, what was painful within him that made this seem like a good idea. If you can understand that basic concept, you won't keep blaming yourself. If you can understand that hurt people, and he had to be hurting for this to seem like a brilliant idea, once you got that grasp, it's a lot easier not to blame yourself. You cannot fix everything with your mate. And it goes the same way for him fixing you, even though he's the one that did this, even though he's the one that broke you. And I put broken quotation marks. We'll talk about that in a second. But even though he's the one that so-called broke you, he is not capable of crawling into your ear, getting down into your brain, and working on it. Okay. He can't fix the stuff that he broke. He can't go in there and make the thoughts stop. He can't take away the information that you have. There is nothing that he can do that will fix your brain. You're the only one that can do that. You're the only one. So I want you to understand that he is trying to show you that he loves you. He wants you to know that he does, but he cannot fix you. And you can blame him for the harm that he caused, but you don't have to blame yourself for wanting to forgive, for wanting to have compassion for your mate who was hurting at the time and did something stupid. There is nothing wrong with that. You don't need to blame yourself or shame yourself for that. But the way that the shame and the blame gets really shed is for you to heal. That is the key to this whole thing, to be able to shed away all of that blaming yourself, is to actually heal from this. As you are going along, there's five phases to that. We've got the devastation, we're just a pile on the floor. We've got the regulation, where we're trying to get control over our feelings. We're getting out of the fight or flight response. We're trying to get back in control after the trauma has knocked us out of the pilot seat. We've got the third phase, which is recreation. We are trying to, after we've got a little bit better control over our emotions, we are trying to recreate the relationship, make it stronger, make it better, make ourselves feel good in it. All right. As we're starting to do that, as we're starting to get out of that regulation, feeling pretty good about our feelings, and then moving into recreating that relationship, having a good time with them, moving further into like the celebration where we're feeling like, oh yeah, we really did this together. That is when that shame, that blaming yourself is going to shed away. As you progress down that healing path, get to these milestones, you're going to feel less and less shame about it. And in the meantime, you have to just talk to yourself about it. I know that it's scary. I know that this is a painful thing that you're doing. I know that it seems like, oh, what is wrong with me? Why am I giving this person a chance? But you are not wrong if that is what you're wanting to do. If your heart is speaking to you and it's saying, I want to stay, I want to work things out, I want things to be all right, you're not wrong for listening to that. You shouldn't blame yourself for listening to your own heart, listening to your own wants and desires. I know in the patriarchy, we've been told that we're not supposed to listen to our own wants and desires, but that is the only reason for us not to feel good about the decision that we're making. That is the only reason, is because other people have told us that it's not okay. If you've got the person and you want to work things out with this person, what business is it of anybody else? Who cares what anybody else has to say? They don't have to live with your decisions. They're going to try and make your decisions for you, but they don't have to live with them. They don't have to carry through with the grief of losing the person that you love the most. They don't have to do that. They can advise you to do that all they like, but they don't actually have to live with it. So as you're going forward, you're going to shed a lot of that shame. A lot of that is going to fall away as you are recreating this relationship. And then as you are turning the chapter by getting into celebration, you are going to feel like Superwoman. You are going to feel like, I cannot believe that I overcame this big bad monster in these big bad woods. I cannot believe I did this. You'll be proud of yourself. You will feel like, I knew I was right. I knew I was right. All I had to do was follow through with exactly what I wanted, and I got to this better place. You will know that you're not wrong when you finish the path. Okay, as you're coming up to the end of it, you don't even have to completely finish it, but as you're walking this path, you will know that you are not wrong. You will get confirmation that you are not wrong. But you just got to walk it a little bit to be able to start getting that. That's all. You got to start heading down the path. You got to start working on each part of the dreams formula. Make sure you go on over there and get your dreams formula. Make sure try it out for me, y'all. Yeah, everybody, if you hadn't tried it yet, you're welcome, Michelle. I hope that was good and clear. Got everything that you wanted. I hope, but make sure that you go over, try it out for me. Help me out so I can make sure that this thing works. It's supposed to be an automatic response that gives you the link to get my dreams formula. So can you go over to Instagram at some point in the near future and just put on any of my videos? It should work on any of them. Path or healing path, and post it up there. It should send you the link. It should immediately send you a message back. Let me know if it's working, okay? All right. Because the one on Facebook's a little wonky. The one on Facebook, sometimes it sends me messages, sometimes it doesn't. So I want to see how Instagram does. All right. Anybody got any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything else that's going on? Let me know. Oh, goodness. All right, let's see. I got any other questions? You all let me know. Got any questions for me? Anything that's on your mind, on your heart? Anything you want to clear up? Anything you're like, dang, if I had an answer for this, it would make my life so much easier. I want to make your life easier. I do. I want you to heal up faster. That's why I want to work with everybody. And make sure when you go and you sign up for my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity, up until tomorrow, I think, yeah, up until tomorrow night, it's going to also have on the thank you page a link to come to a webinar with me. And it's about getting your happy ever after this infidelity. Okay, we're trying to work on our happy ending. We're trying to get to the good part of our story where we are reunited with our beloved, and we are living in our castle, and we are ruling over the land as the queen. I want you to get back to that. Okay, I want to show you the path out of the woods. All right, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the magic that you can perform and all of that. All right, so make sure when you go to sign up for that, the thank you page after you sign up for it, it has the actual download of How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. It's at the very top, and then right below that you can sign up for the webinar I'm doing, and it's going to be 11 a.m. on the 13th. It's going to be on Saturday, so make sure you sign up for that so you can come. Marie, thank you. You said any suggestions for dealing with nightmares? Oh, yes, I got lots of them. I got good stuff. All right. When you've been traumatized, it's real easy to start having nightmares. It's very, very easy. It's also easy to induce nightmares in regular everyday life. Okay. So, simple things that you can do: go and take a bath, do a whole bedtime routine. Don't make it be too hot. I know women, we love our hot water. Hey, I know, but if you've been having nightmares and you overheat yourself with a hot shower and then trying to go to bed, you are going to be too hot, and increased heat, increased body heat actually increases nightmares. If you're in a room that's too hot, sleep with like a sheet instead of like a full blanket on you. Get a fan blowing and circulating some air. Cool off your bedroom and cool off your body before you go to bed. All right, that's the first thing. Second thing is try and do a whole routine. Sit down. You're gonna take a little time for journaling anyway. So sit down, make a cup of tea, a little chamomile will put you right out. Sit down, write down your thoughts, things that may have normally given you nightmares before, things that you're stressed about, things that are triggering. Put them down in your journal as you're reading, as you're drinking your little cup of tea. By the time you get finished with your cup of tea, do a little bit of skincare. Do your face, right? Go ahead and put a little moisturizer on your face and your hands. Just a little skincare, just a little something to take care of yourself. Pamper the baby before you put them to bed. You know what I mean? We that's how we do for our babies. Treat yourself like the baby. All right. Take that couple minutes, do a little lotion, lay on down, nice cool sheets, nice cool room, and go ahead and try and go to sleep. If you're doing a whole routine before bed, you are training your body towards bed. That's why we do it for babies. That's exactly why we bathe them in the lavender baby wash, because lavender helps you sleep. All right. Get yourself some lavender, okay? You can go ahead and do the exact same thing. Get yourself some lavender soap, soak yourself up with some lavender, inhale that aromatherapy, get yourself ready to bed, nice and soft, softened up. Get your nice lotion, get yourself something very not restricting to wear to sleep, something that you enjoy that feels good against your skin, not something scratchy, something feels soft or silky or smooth against your skin, and get yourself into this routine before you get ready to go to bed. So then your whole time you're doing that, your brain is processing, oh, it's almost bedtime. We're getting ready to go to sleep. And she's doing the good stuff and it's relaxing. And I don't think we got to stress about anything. But if we are stressing about anything, she's writing it down in the journal. We can come back to it tomorrow. And your brain will let stuff go because you've been showing it step by step by step by step by step that it is time to go to bed. It is time to rest, not to sit there and be in fight or flight and be stressed out about things that we can't do anything about tonight. All right. So that is my key thing. That is my key thing about having the nightmares, especially the nightmares of, oh, he's cheating, of catching them, that type of stuff. Oh, it's rough. It comes up unbidden, but you can do some things to start to change what your brain is doing before you get ready to go to bed so that you're in a more peaceful, more restful state of mind before you actually lay down. And that will tell your body, okay, it's time to rest. Look. We can't keep on going back and forth about these terrible things. Let's go ahead and rest. All right. Good. Oh, you're so welcome, Rain. Try them out. Try that things out. Finding out that sleeping in a cool room helps you with nightmares. I was like, that was a game changer for me. I was like, that is what it is. Because you feel like you're all hot and restricted. And another thing is if you ever have the dreams where you're being chased, sometimes that, those crossover as the trauma dreams, plant your feet. Don't continue to run because it'll just exhaust you. Plant your feet and turn around and face whatever's chasing you. That will make that particular dream stop. All right. Hope that's helpful. All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything else? Let me know if you want me to answer anything. In the meantime, if you're going to post any more of those, feel free. But in the meantime, let me tell you about the last thing that I always want you to do on your own that is going to help heal you, is going to help with this trauma, and that is to do your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? Oh, Carol, how do you move on? How do you move on? How? How do you move on? How? If you want to move on and just leave, you can just leave. But if you want to move on by forgiving, you actively forgive. That's what you do. You wake up in the morning, you put your feet on the floor, and you say, I forgive, I am forgiving, I have forgiven. Over and over again. Make it be your mantra every day. I am forgiving. Everything is going to be fine. Carol, you say, my husband told me he wants nothing to do with me anymore because he wants to be with his other girl. They always say that. They think that They think that, oh, something was going to be different or easier because this is a part-time person. They had to be responsible with us. They got to do the right things. They got to be good husbands and stuff with us. With them, they're getting part-time, and then they're getting all this full-time attention from these women who are trying to get with a man who they know is not available because they got bad self-esteem. So that bad self-esteem makes them super attentive. And of course, they think that they don't want to deal with the person that they had to do real life with because I could just be getting all the attention. And there are a lot of different reasons why that feels like the right thing for them to do. But regardless, that is what they feel. So the fact that he is so into this other girl, 180. It is 180 time. That is the thing to do when they're like that. When they're like, oh, I'm so in love with the other person. One of the things in the 180 said, don't believe anything that you hear, and believe less than half of what you see, because they are going to be in their zone. They know that they're wrong. And so that they are going to be telling you with all their heart that they are right. And you don't have to sit there and believe that. Don't believe all the mess. They know they're wrong. All right. Do the 180. The 180 is the thing. It is in the group. Okay. Have you tried that? Have you started on that at all? Oh, I'm a big 180 fan. Let me pull it up real quick. This is not even mine. I was telling people to do these steps without having read the book that they came from. This was just the stuff that I was telling people to do anyway because it worked. But yeah, it is an entire system. There is an author named Michelle Weiner Davis. I think it came from the book Divorce Busting. And what it is that she discovered that a lot of women towards the end of the relationship, they want to try and make it right. And they're doing all of the womanly things, all of the more feminine things that they think will try and make the relationship better. And they're not getting response that they want. So it is actually doing the opposite of those things. Doing the 180 is doing like the opposite of those things and pulling that attention away from him, away from the relationship, away from what he's doing, and putting it more on yourself. Not focusing on the relationship, deciding that you're going to be okay no matter what happens. You are moving forward, you are living your own life, you are going to be okay regardless of what happens, but you're still open to things happening. So, like it says, do not pursue, don't chase him down. Reasoning, begging, chasing, pleading, imploring him. Stop all of that. Okay. Stop begging, stop asking, stop talking about it, period. It's not gonna work. Okay. No frequent phone calls. Don't point out the good stuff about the marriage. Well, our marriage was so good and this way and that way. It's just pointing out the places where it's not like that right now. All right. Don't follow them around. Don't encourage talk about the future. They may talk to you sometimes about the future. You don't even have to get involved in that. If they start talking about the relationship in the present, okay, get more into it, but don't get all deep into talking about the future. It's a whole bunch. Just go into the group, go up into the group and go hit the search. The little search icon, and it will pull it right up. A couple of us have posted it. So all you gotta do is go through it one step at a time. I promise you it makes them change. It gets their attention right back from that other woman every single time because they don't understand what you're doing. If you've been chasing after him, begging to talk, trying to connect, buying him presents, all over him, and you suddenly reverse gear and do the 180, it immediately gets their attention because it is drastically different from the things that most women do when we're struggling and we want the relationship to get fixed. The things in the 180 are the complete opposite of the things that we would do. So it immediately gets attention. Immediately, he's like, well, why aren't you paying me any attention? And the longer you're cool about it, the more he's going to be focused on you. He's going to be looking in your direction because you're doing something so different. And he is going to be taking his attention off of her, which is going to make her complain, which makes him realize, oh, it's not any better than I thought it was, because this woman will complain at me too. That's what you're doing with the 180. We are trying to redirect some of that attention of his back on you and ruin their whole relationship. Ruin that side chick relationship with all your heart, okay? He said, thank you. I didn't, because he was just lying and keeping me confused. But now that I know the truth, I will do the 180 to be done with him forever. That's not what it's for. You can repair this. Don't go into this thinking that you're just going to run him away. It's not going to run him away. It's going to bring him closer. So that is what you want. That's what you're saying to me that you want. He is not, don't believe him when he's telling you, oh, he just wants to be with the girl. He wants the ease of being with the girl. That's all he wants. It's not the girl. She ain't special. He wants the ease and he wants the attention of being with the girl. Don't you worry about that. That is not something that you need to worry about. Stop listening to him altogether. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about right now. Do not listen to him. It will make you nuts, okay? It will make you feel like you're the crazy person. Do not listen to what he's saying. In the 180, it specifically says that. Don't listen to anything he says and like less than 50% of what you see. Because even the things you see are going to be different than you think they are. Okay? And Kara, look, we've been doing this for a minute, girl. Just start. Just go ahead and do the 180. He has not abandoned you. He's going to be back. He has just gotten a little frustrated, a little desperate, feeling like he can't change life. If you show him something different, it is going to make things different. It's very cruel to us, and I'm so hurt. I can forgive him. Girl, you have been wanting to forgive him for quite a while now. It has been years. You can forgive him. You have to choose to forgive him. You have to decide to forgive him and stop allowing your brain to tell you that you should just be able to punish him and hate him and be mad at him forever. That is not working. It has not worked, right? Up until this point, you've been holding back on the forgiveness for a minute now. That's not working, Carol. It's not. It has not worked yet. Stop doing the same thing expecting a different result, because that's the definition of insanity. We got to stop being insane. Don't think that you are going to be able to withhold that forgiveness and get good things, because it has not happened yet. All right? Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. Michelle, how do I stop myself from wanting to confront her? Oh, you can want it. It's actually kind of good. It's a little bit satiating to think about all the things that you could do if you were to confront her. But the easiest way for me to stop myself, I hope for you to stop yourself, is to think of it like this. You are the queen. He is the king. She was some stable girl. You don't have any reason to address a stable girl. You are the queen. What are you going to do? Go get your dress dirty? Going down and talk to her? Is she worth it? Is she anybody to you? Is she any kind of threat? No, because you're the queen. So you just got to keep that in mind. I am a queen. I do not concern myself with peasant girls. That is the affirmation that I use to leave them alone, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're out here bad self-esteeming it, trying to take a man that they know isn't available. That's their own issues to deal with. That is not queen stuff that you need to be dealing with. That is peasant behavior. We do not need to be concerning ourselves with that. It's too much to be bothered with. There are some things that the queen should have to be bothered with, some things that we should have to handle. Trying to handle a peasant girl who wants to get out of her place, out of her station, is not for us to deal with. Does that make sense? That's the way I thought about it. That's the way I accepted it with myself. Is, I don't need to, I am the queen. I do not need to get my dress dirty going down to the stables to go talk to a peasant girl. What? No, I'm not gonna do it. Not lowering myself. Not doing it. That makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Because I can't do it. I can't sit here and be so worried about the peasant girls. She was a swinger. Well, see that's a whole nother thing. I think a lot of people get into the swinging thing because they think, well, then I don't necessarily have to be uh, monogamous. But a lot of people want that anyway. So they be swinging, but they actually want to be in a relationship. They just want to find somebody that they can get along with and compatible with. Eh, you know. But don't get stressed out about her. She is a peasant girl. She is nobody to concern you. She was a toy to be played with, and then he put her down. That's what happened. And so you don't have to be worried about discarded toys either. That is not your problem. That is not your mission. That is not anything that you need to be concerned about trying to confront this child who doesn't know what she's doing, and he didn't know what he was doing either. Ain't no need to confront her. For what? What's she gonna do? What's she gonna say? There's nothing she can do or say that'll make it any better. You'll just be looking at her like, I wasted my time with this. And it is a waste of your time. It really is. All right. I think that's about it. Is that it? Let me know if there's anything else. Tell me. But okay, so back to affirmations. The last thing that I'm always going to ask you to do, I need you to start doing this on a regular basis. I need you to sit down. I need you to look yourself in the eye, in the camera, wherever it is. And I need you to say your affirmation like you believe it. I need you to repeat it like it is a true thing. Even if you don't fully believe it, that is fine. That is not necessary to start to make the memory that is required for the affirmation to be effective. You make the memory, looking yourself in the eye, saying it earnestly, saying it as deeply, passionately as you can possibly say it. You are giving your brain a recording of that. It does not matter if you don't believe it. If you look like you believe it, if you said it like you meant it, your brain will believe make believe. Whatever you tell it to believe, it's going to believe. So if you consistently tell yourself over and over again, you play that tape in your brain over and over again, affirming yourself, how wonderful you are, how beautiful, how talented, how sweet, how happy, how altogether gorgeous you are, you will start to believe it. All right. It's just the way that it works. And if you can start to believe that, then you won't keep believing the terrible things about yourself that your brain keeps saying while you're trying to heal. And that's the big thing, is not believing those things, because as you believe those terrible things about yourself, you put the brakes on your healing. You stop trying. You stop pushing forward. So instead of doing that, instead of believing the worst about yourself, try believing the best about yourself. If you're going to lie about how awful you are, you might as well lie about how wonderful you are. All right. I spent a good few years learning how to overcome anxiety before this even happened. Before I even dealt with this with my husband, I had real bad anxiety on my own. And a lot of it was thinking that other people were thinking bad things about me, that where I was going, people were thinking I was too tall, I was too fat, I was too this, I was too that. And I realized, I was like, that is mind reading. That's a coping skill that people have that makes them feel worse. If you keep on mind reading and think, oh, everybody's thinking bad things about me, it's gonna make you feel like crap about yourself. So I found out about that as an idea of mind reading, and I was like, well, I can't mind read. That is not a skill that I actually have. So I'm lying to myself. I am making that up. The things that I'm thinking that other people are thinking, I am making those things up about myself. So what would happen if I made up things in the opposite direction? If I started telling myself wonderful things about myself, what would happen then? And I started to do that. I started to tell myself that every time people saw me, they were just enamored by me. They want to take pictures. They want to talk to me. They want to connect with me. They love me. They are like, I cannot believe I saw Dasha in person out here in the wild. It was amazing. And she was so nice to me. And I can't believe somebody like her would be so nice. The whole thing. I convinced myself of the opposite of the lies that I had been telling about myself. And it made people act differently. It may just have been me. It might have just all been in my head, but it seemed different. People were smiling more. People were waving, talking to me more, giving me things, trying to do stuff for me more often as soon as I started thinking that, as soon as I started making that be what I projected in my brain every time I went out of the house, every time I interacted with somebody, believing that they believe those great things about me, all of a sudden people started to act like that. So when you change the things around you. If you can go ahead and start with the good ideas about yourself, those will resonate with the people around you. They will think good things about you too. All right. So your affirmation today. Today, I will not give in. Today, I will not allow negative thoughts or feelings to prevent me from achieving happiness, because those are not in the way of you being happy. Your thoughts and your feelings, they are supposed to assist you. They are not supposed to make you feel god awful all the time. Okay? So today, I will not give in. Today, I will not allow negative thoughts or feelings to prevent me from achieving happiness. Carol, you said, how can I not compare? How can I compare myself to the other girl? It's the same thing. You're a queen. How can you be compared to a peasant girl? How can that be? It is not possible. You are the queen. You are the main character of this story. There is no way in the world that you can be anything like some peasant girl. It's just not possible. So you got to remind yourself of that every time you go to try and compare yourself. And you don't know her well enough to compare yourself. You think because this has happened with him that you have some connection with her and you would be able to compare yourself, but you don't know her. You don't know who she is. You don't know how she acts. You don't know how god awful she could be. You just know what you're seeing from the outside, from not being in the situation. And that's not a fair comparison. You are comparing their fantasy to reality. That is never going to compare. You can't do that. That doesn't work. The fantasy is not real. She can make herself seem wonderful for a limited amount of time, but the reality is she's a broken girl who is trying to be with somebody who is not available and is fine with breaking up his family. I'm glad you not like her. Okay. If we're gonna compare, I'm glad you're not. I'm glad that is not something that you were doing, is being compared to somebody who is just not at all on your level, not doing the right things in life, giving herself a harder time than she needs to. I'm glad you're not like her. You're right, girl. I know I'm right. I know, because you are the main character. You're the good queen. You're not to be compared with some peasant girl that the king thinks is fun right now. Who doesn't make him clean up after himself? You know what I mean? Like who doesn't make him take care of the kids? Like, yeah, the peasant girl's always fun to play with, but not to have real life with. So yeah, no, she's not doing well. She's not okay over there. There. If we're gonna compare, we need to compare to people who have their stuff together. Okay, we need to compare to somebody who is doing great, skyrocketing in their life, showing up as a superstar, not somebody who feels like they are so terrible that they can't have an available man. Girl, please, we are not. No, we're not doing that. It's bad luck. We can't do it. All right. All righty, y'all. I think that's about it. I'm about finished. I think that's it. If y'all got any other questions, feel free to ask them. I'll post them, post comments and answers in the underneath the video. But in the meantime, I think that's about it. So glad that you joined me for the Healing Hour Live. You know I love to talk to y'all live. You know that makes me super happy to get to talk to you all live, answer your questions, find out what's going on with you. If you need any extra help, please make sure you message me. I have absolutely no problem giving you answers. I have answers. I want to share them. I will give them to you, okay? But in the meantime, make sure that you sign up for my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. Please, would you please, since you're watching now, go on over to Instagram, any video, try it on this one, put path or healing path, and see if the thing automatically sends you the link to go to my freebie. Okay, let me know if it's working. I just set it up. It says it's live, but I haven't tried it yet. So let me know. You're so very welcome, Carol. You know I love to help out. This is a path that I have traveled, and I got it pretty down pat now. I know the way out of the woods. I am happy to show you the way out. All right. All righty, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I will be back again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another session right here with you on Instagram and Facebook, Love After Cheating Group, and YouTube, Love Coach Dasha channel. All right? All right, y'all. Bye. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here to Facebook and YouTube.